Hi guys. No, the title isn't clickbait. I'm here to talk to you about how my diet changed my life and allowed me to go on a vacation that I never thought I'd be able to do. Why? And I know you're really curious about this subject. Why would my diet change that? I'm going to tell you. See, this is my cane. And whenever I went to craft shows or events, I had to walk with this cane. And I was at a point in my disability that I really thought I was going to have to get one of those scooters, or at least one of those, I don't know what they're exactly called, but they're like a cart and you push and there's a seat there so that if you get too tired you can sit down. I was contemplating with my husband about whether I should get one of those because I was having such a hard time moving and getting around. And to be honest with you, during my lowest point, I would only go grocery shopping once a month, and I went to a big box store, Sam's Club is what it was called, and I did my big shop once a month, and I loaded up the freezer and the fridge, and for any shopping that had to be done for top-ups during the week for milk or bread or whatever it was we ran out of, my husband had to go do that. Because it took me 2 days of either laying in the recliner with my feet up or in the bed to recuperate from that shopping trip. 2 days recovery for one shopping trip. Christmas shopping couldn't be done. Couldn't go from store to store to store to buy gifts for people. I had to order online. I had to order everything offline. And so I wasn't able to move well enough to take a vacation. I couldn't walk around that much. I couldn't stand for that long. So if you've ever been to Niagara Falls, and stay tuned because I'm going to put pictures and video clips attached to this. So don't click off when I say goodbye. Stay tuned for those videos and clips because they're absolutely beautiful. And I really want you to experience this. So if you've ever been, it's a great big park and the attractions are located all along the falls, all along the fall line, okay, along that river. And there's a trolley that will take you around different parts of the park, but there's still quite a bit of walking that has to be done to get onto that ride, to stand in the lines, get your tickets, stand in the lines to get through the event or ride or whatever it is that you have to do, even standing in line for the trolley that will take you to the next location. That was something that I couldn't do 2 years ago, just 2 years ago. And a lot of steps and stairs and climbing that I couldn't do 2 years ago. And even the ramps were quite steep that I couldn't do before because my back just wouldn't allow it. And to give you an idea of just how much I've improved, I've been on this plant-based journey less than 2 years, okay? So last summer, and my husband takes his vacation every summer, last summer I had been on plant-based 7 months, okay, because I was completely plant-based by January 1st. I started around November, just slowly transitioning, cutting out foods, adding foods, until I had the goal of January 1st being completely plant-based. So that was January 1st, 2017. And so last summer, which would have been July 2017, I'd lost quite a bit of weight and I looked good and I felt good and I could get around much better. And so we went on our first vacation. It was somewhere local because I couldn't stand sitting in the car for long periods. So I still had that issue. So we just went to Pittsburgh, which is an hour away, and we did a tour of museums, art museums, Natural History Museum. Sorry, that just wouldn't come out. And art galleries and things like that. Toured some mansions, the Fisk Center, we went there. and picnicked in the park and did things like that, because that was local enough that I could withstand that drive. So we did that. We toured the mansion, and that was really, really hard for me because it was a lot of standing in one spot, and my back just locks up when I stand in one spot. So, sorry, there was a bee. So I still had that issue. And I did the art museum. I did that fine. I walked all the way through that. But by the time we got to the Natural History Museum, I was having trouble. Okay, I thought I'd be okay. I was going to tough it out, and I thought I'd be okay. And we got in, and after the first little bit, the first couple turns around, I said, I just can't do it. I can't do it. I'm so sorry. I cannot do it. So I sat on a bench, and my husband went and got a wheelchair and pushed me through the rest of the museum. Now, as far as I had come and as good as I looked, I still wasn't there yet. Okay, this summer I went to Niagara Falls, and I was there. I was there, baby. I was there. I walked the whole way. I climbed all the stairs. When we first got there, after a 3.5-hour drive, we got out of the car and we hit that first ride, and I was running. My husband was teasing me because I was running down those steps. I was so excited to be there, and I felt so good. And I stood in the lines, and I walked down the steps, and I did the ramps. The only thing I really had trouble with was this it was a walkway that went over a overpass over a highway. I think it was like a 4-lane divided highway to get to the aquarium, and that was a little steep for me, and it was a little hard. I had to kind of stop on the way up and rest a bit and take a couple sips of water and go on. But once I did that and I got there, I walked all around the aquarium and the Discovery Center, and I was fine. I didn't have to take a break. I didn't have to sit down. I was okay. So don't give up on this. If you're thinking about plant-based, or you're beginning your journey and you haven't quite got there yet, don't give up, because it just takes a little more time. You know, think about how long it took our body to get to the point where it deteriorated that we couldn't do those things. Give it a little time to get to that point where we can do those things, and don't give up, because this diet and this lifestyle is just miraculous. It really is. And I'm here to tell you that if it wasn't for my plant-based diet, I wouldn't be off that entire bag full of medications that I used to take, and I wouldn't have been able to go on this wonderful vacation, and I wouldn't be able to do any of the things that I can do now. And I'll admit, I took a pain pill before I left, a muscle pain pill, Aleve. It's naproxen, so it's like a double Aleve, and it's from that bag of medications that normally I don't touch anymore, but I still have them laying around if they're needed. And I took one of those in the morning before we left because I was still experiencing a little bit of pain. And the reason I is because on Tuesday I did a full day trip to New York. It was a 2.5-hour drive, walked all day, ran it all day, and then 2.5 drive home. So left my house at 8 o'clock in the morning and got home almost 11 on Tuesday, then rested up, and we took this Niagara Falls trip on Friday, and that was a 3.5-hour drive there and back, plus running all day. So I was still a little sore, but the fact that I did both of these trips within days apart, and I was able to do them, that's something I never would have done before. So my husband and I were joking, you know, we talk about getting older, and I said, I'm not. And he laughed and he said, you're really not. You're getting younger. And I said, I am younger than I was 5 years ago. And I truly believe that. I look younger, I feel younger. You know, 5 years ago, I acted old, I looked old, I dressed old. I was old 5 years ago, but I'm not anymore. I'm in my prime now, and I'm happy to be here. So stay on this journey, guys. Don't give up. It's worth it.